Okay, so here's a quiz. What's better, to have money in a jar when you get an allowance or something, or money in the bank?
Same.
How come? Oh, you say the same?
Because what if, like, this guy comes to your house and takes all your stuff, and then he finds a huge jar full of like $1 billion?
So the bank keeps it secure for you?
Yeah.
That's a good. That's a good reason too. What else? Why is it? Why do you think it's the same model?
Because people could rob the bank too.
Oh, but it'd be less likely. What about? You know, you guys know what interest is? Yes.
Because you can get money from the bank if you have enough. Like if you have like $100, you can get like a cent.
Like a cent.
It's only $100.
The bank gives you interest. If you keep the money in the bank, they give you interest every month. And do you know what inflation is? Michelo, do you know what inflation is?
No.
Inflation is, for example, things cost a little bit more every year. When I was a kid, a can of soda, I can't remember, might have cost like 50 cents.
Oh.
And now it costs more. Like everything costs more. Inflation is usually, I think, about 2 to 3% every year. So next year, something for $100 will cost how much with interest? With
$103?
Yeah. So that means your $100 in the jar will still be $100, but now you can buy less. So that's what I mean. That's what you mean by you lose money with, what's that word again?
Interest.
Inflation. With inflation. So that's inflation. So, you know, the banks these days, they don't give too much interest. A long time ago, they used to have really good interest, maybe 4%, or they would beat inflation. So people like to put money in the bank because you know what, you gain interest anyway. But now, putting money in the bank, you get maybe 1% if you're lucky. I forget what they give you today, but less than 1%. And inflation is 2 to 3%. So guess what happens if you leave that money there forever, for a long time? Little by little, that money will be worthless. The interest that you're getting is a little bit, but the inflation is more. Okay, so even though you have $100 in the bank, over the years, that you can buy less and less and less with that $100, and they give you a little bit of interest every year, but the inflation costs more and more. So tell me in your own words how keeping $100 in the bank, you lose money also.
Because of the infiltration.
Because of infiltration. No, because of the inflation. Inflation is how much usually? Like 2 to 3%, right?
So like that thing, it's like bigger than the interest.
Yeah, say inflation. It's funny, but you need to be smart about money. So this is a good thing to be smart about.
Inflation.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the interest.
Yeah. Oh, what's inflation? What's inflation mean again?
So
Go down there.
if things cost different over time, then your money is like worth less. Keep it too long, because then everything's like way more expensive.
Yeah.
Say like a piece of candy used to be 1 cent, but now it's like $1. So then it's like you could have bought 100 candies for $1, but now you have to pay $100 for 100 candies.
Good point. That's exactly right. Every year, things get a little bit more expensive. By how much? By how much percentage?
1 or 2%.
1% or 2%.
So sometimes it's 2 to 3%. Yeah. So something that costs $100 this year costs how much next year?
130 or 100. I mean 103 or 102.
Yes. Okay.
I get it now.
Good job. And if you have money in the bank, are you gaining or losing money? Why?
If long enough, because the interest is less than the inflammation.
Inflation. What's interest mean?
Like every month you get more of it. It depends how much you have. Like if you have like $100 something, it gives you like $1 something, and if you have like $1 million, it gives you like $100. Like
Yeah.
it's not just like a little. It's like
It's just a percentage. So if you have $100, you always get the same percentage. So you get more with more money in it.
but you still
Yeah.
get a little.
Yeah. So that's it. Okay, bye. Say bye to the camera. So kids, let me tell you what that means. Oh, my kids are gone right now. So what that means is that it's better to put money in the bank because at least it gives you a little bit of interest. But it's even better to invest your money. How do you do that? Well, there's these things called stocks and bonds. And stocks, you put your money in businesses. Businesses need money to make their widgets. So they will ask people for money so they can buy the tools to make the widgets. And then they can start making the widgets and selling the widgets. So you buy a stock for a few dollars and you own part of the company. So if the company does really well, then you get part of their gains too. You gain part of the money of what they sell. So that's how that works. The more money you put into stocks, the more money you can get from them. Okay? But it also means sometimes if the company doesn't do so well, then you could lose that money too. So that's why you don't put in all your money in just one stock. You put in money in a lot of different companies. Okay? So if one company doesn't do so well, a lot of the other ones are doing well anyway, and you do just fine. That is called diversifying. So yes, this video was made for kids a little bit, but adults can learn from it too. It's basic principle, money management 101 that sometimes a lot of adults don't get taught this stuff in school. It's amazing. It's amazing that my kids know so much about all kinds of stuff that I never knew, but about how to manage money, nothing. It's amazing. So I'll encourage you to, if you have kids, to learn about money and just the basics, and then teach your kids. You know, start when they're young. I hope you enjoyed this video like I enjoyed making it, and as always, I encourage you to grow and master your life.